What's up, my beautiful people? Hope you're having a terrific day. Exile451 here with yet another daily dose of Reddit Happy. Hope you're all having a good New Year's Eve today and that you've got something fun planned for tonight. Gonna close out the year and decade with some stuff out of r/AskReddit. So, let's get to it. Alright, so today's AskReddit question was, as 2019 comes to a close, what is one part of the past decade that everyone just kind of forgot about? And while some of these are funny, this is meant to be a bit more of a reflective AskReddit video. So if you can think of anything that seems to have just been forgotten about from the last decade, go ahead and put it in the comments. There was a weird period where mustaches were on everything, and it just seemed to disappear. Follow up on that? Same with bacon. Okay, I don't really remember the mustaches on everything super well. Vague memories of like pictures of fruit with mustaches, but I could just be making those up. The bacon thing, however, oh my gosh, yes. Bacon was everywhere. I mean, it was in everything. There was bacon flavored toothpaste, bacon scented shampoo and body wash, bacon cologne. I mean, just bacon everywhere. Gosh, that I do remember. The current version of This Is Unicorns. When Russia hosted the Olympics, then decided to invade Ukraine like a week later. That's still going on. Oh yeah, frick. I mean, being here in the States, you kind of forget about stuff that happens way overseas like that. But, frick. I thought that was done. I thought that had been resolved. Dang. The world supposedly ending in 2012. And the follow-up, and 2011. Okay, I remember both of those, and I knew people who were hysterical about them both. Like, they thought that the world was legitimately coming to an end. It was hilarious. I remember waking up that morning that the world was supposed to end in 2011, and just putting in REM's It's the End of the World as We Know It. And just playing that on loop, just on repeat, as I ate breakfast. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's crazy. That was 9 years ago. I think it's more overlooked than forgotten about, but I would say the implementation of personalized search results. Ever since search engines and social media have started giving results based on what it thinks you'll click instead of unbiased information, the amount of raw and more neutral information people get has minimized. It's making people as polarized as ever because they only see things or converse with people who agree with them, and it doesn't seem like there's any going back. At the risk of sounding political, unfortunately, it's not just search results that are contributing to that. I'm not going to say one way or another where I fall politically here, but love him or hate him, when Trump says fake news, there's a lot of examples you can point to. I'm not saying I'm a fan of the guy, but at the same time, there's a reason people believe him when he says it. So, you wouldn't get unbiased information these days anyway. That's just my opinion, though. That dude who free dropped from space and was sponsored by Red Bull, Felix Kill-the-Joy or something like that. I believe the name you're looking for is Felix Baumgartner. And holy crap, I'd completely forgotten about this. The guy who jumped from that small little blimp in the stratosphere. Holy crap. Those weird Harlem Shake videos everyone did for 2 weeks. Still don't know what that was about. I was an intern at a radio station here when that was a big thing, and they did that one day when I was there, and I was just like, what the crap is this? I still have no idea what it was about. But yeah, it was everywhere for like 2 weeks. Oh man. The stupid blue and black / white and gold dress argument. It was always white and gold. I never saw blue and black. Remember when Lego made an MMO and then shut it down? I still miss it. ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. I remember that. I remember that one. I think the guy who kicked that whole thing off, though, recently passed away. So that's kind of sad, but he did at least bring attention to it. Parody music. I guess when music labels found out they could spam false copyright claims, all of those channels died. The final space shuttle launch with Atlantis in 2011. Remember that time that people were dressing up as clowns and scaring people? Oh, and then remember that other time the exact same thing happened and no one did anything about it? Oh, I remember. I really remember. I seem to recall Burger King running an ad for if you were dressed up like a creepy clown on Halloween, you could come in and get a free Whopper or something like that, and just being completely incredulous over the fact of like, what are you doing? There is an epidemic of creepy clowns throughout the country, and you are going to encourage it? Man, I'm glad that died out. Follow up on that one though. I remember when it was people standing there dressed as clowns and marveling at the hysteria of a clown just standing there. Then people started doing it independently and doing edgy stuff like holding weapons or chasing people. It got real cringy, fast. Do you want to get shot? Because that's how you get shot. The Malaysia Airlines passenger jet that disappeared without a trace in early 2014. I remember that one especially because I just started working at a news station at the time and we were covering that story and just waiting for any word to come in about it. And nothing ever did. And I remember being convinced that it was like hijacked by ISIS or something like that. But in the event that anyone is interested, there is a great piece in The Atlantic that's pretty long, but goes into really deep detail about a lot of the things that went wrong with this investigation, and someone who spent the last 5 years tracking down what actually happened. From that article, it sounds like it was pilot suicide, but I mean, we'll never know until that black box is recovered. Still though, it did just seem to like disappear. Tebowing, which was when that football quarterback would pray every time he got a touchdown or something. Everyone was going around doing that praying pose. It happened around the time planking was still a thing. Oh, that just reminds me of the South Park episode about safe memeing. And how everyone Tebowing has to do it on train tracks and they all die as a result. Osama bin Laden was caught in 2011, but he was also the world's best hide-and-seek player before that. Just like 9/11, I remember exactly where I was when I heard that news. There was this trend in my part of Europe in the winter where people would wear thigh-high Uggs. The trend disappeared because I live in Ireland and the rain and mud ruined the boots. Also, people would wear matching jackets and look like a walking Ugg. And really all I can say to that is, ugh. The entire year of 2013. Does anyone even remember what happened that year? In terms of actually breaking big kind of news, I remember Edward Snowden from 2013, but that's really kind of it. So, yeah, I feel like I should remember more, and yet, here we are. Dubstep. I remember a recent article talking about how loud, abrasive music just isn't as popular as it was back then, and that it looked like dubstep was going to be the next big thing among the youth earlier in this decade. Then, it just lost traction for some reason. Although it was popularized at the end of the last decade, people routinely used to download phone ringtones and pay anywhere from $2.99 to $5.99 for the privilege of hearing a snippet of their favorite song as the ringer. The market was so immensely profitable that artists and musicians reportedly made more from the ringtone sales than they did from the sales of their entire albums. And of course, there were superstars that made a ton of money without having any further content than that of their ringtone. The most ubiquitous, the Crazy Frog ringtone, earned its maker over $400 million. $400 million for the Crazy Frog ringtone? I remember on my first phone, if I tried to buy a ringtone, it wasn't even a snippet of the song. It was like a weird digital algorithm to sound somewhat like the song. And the first one I ever got was, In the End by Linkin Park. Because that was back in their glory days, before they went down this weird route they are now. But yeah, you don't even think about that anymore. Physical keyboards on phones. Lindsay Lohan stealing a child on Instagram Live. Okay, now that one I had no clue about. Did that actually happen? Like seriously, did that actually happen? I mean, I knew she had problems, but holy crap. Frick. Apple released the first iPad. Oh man, I remember the first time I saw one, I was just like, that is so bulky and inconvenient. Who would ever want to use that? And yet now I rely on my iPad mini to do these videos and do my voiceover work. I mean, it has come so far. Fidget spinners. Let's just bury it in the past and forget. Why? I still have one. My wife still has one. Our cat loves playing with my wife's fidget spinner. Gangnam Style. Oh. No. Oh, I'm glad that died. Remember when that old lady tried to restore an old fresco of Jesus and the end result was this weird simian alien? Yep, I sure do. She didn't do a very good job. For those of you who might not be sure of what this is referring to, what's on your screen is what she made the fresco of Jesus look like. Yep. The Casey Anthony trial. Yeah, that was a travesty. The only trial that I felt was bigger in this last decade was Jodi Arias. And mostly because my psychopathic ex was obsessed with that case and was one of her most vehement defenders. Which, in hindsight, should have really been a big red flag to me. But, that's a whole different story. That family who said their kid disappeared in a weather/hot air balloon in their backyard or something, and everyone freaked out for a little while until it was revealed to all have been a hoax. Okay, that was 2009, I think, but still, Balloon Boy! Oh! He's a teenager now! Oh, I was just thinking about him the other day. Balloon Boy, oh my gosh. The Pokemon Go takeover of July to August 2016. This one was not forgotten. Pokemon Go is still going strong. You look at the way they're still putting out content like they are, and I will tell you right now, they have no incentive or reason to stop. Plus, I might be a little biased since my wife and I are both level 40. So, yeah. Net-related activism. I remember a time during the early 2010s when internet users took matters like data privacy and censorship very seriously, like with SOPA and Prism. And there were a ton of activists like Anonymous, Snowden, Assange, etc. One day, Anonymous just up and vanished. And it seems like in the latter part of the decade, our generation's taking issues like these for granted. Can you imagine if the scope of Google and Facebook's data collection was made more public back in like 2011 to 2013? Or if YouTube censorship back then was anywhere comparable to what it is today? And the uproar it would cause? I think that just like how millennials/Gen Z have their resentments towards boomers, our complacency with our data privacy and rights will be one of the things the next generation holds against us. I completely agree. We're way too lackadaisical about it. People just suddenly don't care anymore. Frick. Those random Facebook groups everyone used to join like, I wish music played during epic moments of my life and not just in movies. I bet I can find 500 people that hate homework. I will carry 20 grocery bags so I don't have to make a second trip, etc. Oh gosh, I do remember those. Well, like I said, this wasn't necessarily meant to be the most funny, but more reflective than anything else of things that happened this last decade, just to keep everything in perspective. What you're going through, what the world's going through right at this moment, is all just one small little wrinkle in time. It's not that big a deal in the grand scheme of things. Life goes on, one day follows another, and everything just kind of usually seems to work itself out. The biggest thing I know for me that happened in the last decade was that I met and married my wonderful wife, who I know is watching this right now, and I just want to say, hun, I love you so very, very much. You truly do complete me, and I am the luckiest man alive to have you by my side. You are the most wonderful woman I have ever met in my entire life, and I could not be happier. I would not be a fraction of the man that I am today were it not for your love, your support, everything that you've done to bring me to where I am. Thank you so much for putting up with me. I love you dearly, and here is to many, many, many more decades together. That was r/AskReddit, and if you're looking for more funny or uplifting AskReddit content, then go ahead and check out the playlist link in the description below. Now you guys go out there, have a great New Year's Eve, stay safe tonight. I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.